You're listening to Force Majeure, an actual play Star Wars podcast. My name is Adam, and I'm your host and the GM for Episode 7 of the Coldfire Chronicles. Our players are...
I'm Ross, I'm playing Agatha, a Moriel and warrior aggressor. My emotional strength is pride, my weakness is anger.
Agatha, what's your greatest fear, and how does that relate to the situation you currently find yourself in, if at all?
Agatha not afraid of current situation. There are enemies ahead, plenty of things to hit. Agatha not too fond of the dark.
Oh, I'm going to use that against you. You have bared your weakness.
My name is Ed Fortune, and I'm playing Oberon Brick, a human seeker hunter. His moral thingy is justice, and his moral weakness is cruelty.
Where's your thesaurus now?
Where's your thingy?
We don't ask that on a child-friendly podcast.
The thesaurus is my favourite dinosaur.
Oberon, what is your biggest fear, and how does that relate to the situation you currently find yourself in, if at all?
Mercifully and thankfully, Oberon is not aware of the existence of Ewoks. If he was, he'd be terrified of them, because they are terrifying little teddy bears with weapons. Mostly, right now, he's terrified of being alone.
Oh, I'm going to hit you with that one as well.
I'm Mim. I'm playing Larsa. She is a human sentinel artisan. Her strength is curiosity, and her weakness is obsession.
Larsa, what is your biggest fear, and how does that relate to your current situation, if at all?
I've always valued my freedom. Freedom's pretty important to me, and at the moment the idea that this might be taken away from me is actually hitting a lot of my nerves. Thank you for being so sensitive about it, and not asking me outright, what's your biggest fear, because I'm living it, thank you so much for asking.
You're very welcome.
Hello, I'm Mikey. I'm playing Jiren. I'm a Chiss Mystic Advisor. My emotional strength is my enthusiasm, but my emotional weakness is my recklessness.
Jiren, what's your biggest fear, and how does that relate to the current situation, if at all?
Jiren has always been concerned at the ability not to be able to talk my way out of things. When we get to a point that I cannot go back on, that means that I will get punched. I will get shot. I will get injured in some way. I believe we've just about reached that point right now, and I am not doing very well. For I thought that what I might be able to do is talk my way around these people. They're going to hit me, aren't they? I know they're going to hit me.
Which is a neat introduction to where we last left our heroes, clambering through the air vents of the Imperial base in an attempt to free Pyjak from torture and bondage. Oberon has failed his stealth check and gone tumbling out of the pipes like a greased bantha, taking out one of the Imperial guards with a data slate, hopefully before he could raise the alarm, as Pyjak hangs suspended from the ceiling, badly beaten, and another prison officer prepares to unleash the same fate upon Oberon. That's initiative. It is going to be vigilance tests, because none of you were prepared for this particularly.
None of us look cool.
Yes, it's not like you were ready for an ambush. You didn't expect to be falling into combat quite so quickly, I think it's safe to say. So it is a vigilance test with no purple dice in there. Just a flat roll. Let me know what you get.
So that's 1 success from me and 2 advantages.
2 successes, 2 advantages, and a dark side point.
Would you like to spend your dark side points?
Yes.
2 odd, a success or an advantage?
2 success.
So that's 3 and 1. You need to move me a light side point over to dark and take yourself a strain. When we get round to doing our morality tot-ups, which will probably be at the end of the chapter, you're going to need to be careful because you're using an awful lot of dark side at the moment. Just throwing that one out there.
It's almost like he's a spoilt Imperial boy. He doesn't really understand what he's doing.
Quite well. These are all the choices that we're making. We are our decisions, Darth Fortune. And Ross, what did you get?
I've got 2 successes and 2 advantage.
2 and 2. And if you give me a second, I will roll mine. Well, this is nice and simple. It's you don't need to roll Larsa because you're hanging out with Prinkle in the engineering room, presumably smoking dirty roll-ups and eating biscuits.
But you can hear engineers do.
That's all engineers do, yes.
But you can probably hear some worrying noises coming from up that room.
Possibly not over the sound of the heavy machinery in the room where Larsa presently is.
Oh, good. That stealth worked.
So it is you 3 players before the prison guards have a chance to go. And I think, really, it's probably fair that we start with Ed, as he's tumbled out and really started the whole ball rolling here. So you can disagree with me and discuss with yourselves, but
completely. I think Ed should go, and then maybe me, and then you, because we're in the pipe in an order.
yeah, that sounds fair.
Yes, this is his fault. I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, Ed, what's the plan?
So I've already landed on one of the guards.
Yes.
So I'm going to shoot the other one with my light blaster.
Okay. Did you have your light blaster out in the pipes?
I did not, but do I have any advantage?
You can use a manoeuvre rather than getting up off the floor to basically roll over and draw it, and then an action to shoot.
I will TJ Hooker style, twirl my gun and roll, and then shoot.
Okay.
And it's still a green.
Yes, it's a single purple dice. It's a difficulty because he's at short range. However, I'm giving you 2 black.
Ooh.
One because you've been tangled up on the floor and it's awkward. Another one because you're essentially trying to get everything sorted out once you're a bit tangled up. You've got to draw your gun out and you're essentially not quite firing into melee, but close enough.
I get 1 success and 1 advantage.
Okay. 1 success. It's a light blaster pistol, so that's 6 damage in. And what would you like your advantage to be spent on?
I'll give the next person a blue die.
You could also try and be quiet in your attack because there are several guards outside this door.
I was going to say that, but I'm not sure how we can.
Smash, crash,
I think unfortunately it's going to be more than a single.
Yeah, give a colleague the next colleague a blue die is the best I can hope for. I think, unfortunately.
Next player.
Okay, so Jiren slips out of the pipe and lands on the floor. I believe that probably be his manoeuvre.
Yes.
He then, with a massive smile to the prone guard who hasn't been shot, he says, "Stay down, stay calm. Nobody will get hurt if you stay calm." And then I'm going to try and distract him emotionally with my force powers.
Okay. It's an opposed discipline test, I believe.
It is an opposed discipline test.
His discipline is 1 purple, 1 red.
Excellent. I am going to use a light side point to upgrade one of mine to a yellow. That's 1 advantage, but also a failure.
You don't manage to distract him. He's already a little distracted from having Oberon tumble out of the pipes and collapse on him, but you've not managed to put the mystic whammy on him just yet. His will is clearly just a little bit too strong, and I suspect it all taking quite by surprise. You weren't ready for this. It's just you've not had a chance just to focus quite enough on this one.
Mm-hmm. But I do have an advantage, so I'm going to give Agatha a blue dice if necessary in the next roll.
Okay. Agatha, what's your plan?
We have 1 who's shot, 1 who's on the floor,
Yes.
very prone, but still somewhere near a button to sound the alarm.
He's not too far away from his data slate. It's not in his hand, but he could potentially scrabble over and grab it.
We're going to be uncharacteristic. Well, no, it's not uncharacteristic. We're going to go for the one who's still active, which is the one who's prone rather than the one who's been shot.
The one who's been shot is fine. He's a bit. Yeah, he's not dropped. He's a bit singed, but he took a step back. But yeah, he's.
I'm going to go for that.
Yeah, he's not dropped down.
Okay, I'm going for him as he seems to be the biggest and most active threat in the room.
He's of an equivalent build to you, wearing shot gauntlets as well. He's a big, muscly fella whose hair is immaculately coiffured. However, yeah, beautiful brown, wavy. It's gorgeous. I don't know what product he uses, but even being shot with a stun blast, that's not moved. That is a powerful quiff the man has.
Jiren likes hair products, so Jiren is probably going to ransack him if we do win this, just to make sure.
I think it's a thing to spend advantage on.
Yes.
Is to find what his hair product is.
Noted.
So, like, side
Right.
quest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agatha's probably less interested in that.
It will be a manoeuvre to get out of the pipe.
Right.
It will be a second manoeuvre, I'm afraid, costing 2 strain to engage to get right into melee. Oh no, actually, do you know what? I'll let you engage from the pipe. You can just drop down on top. Are you going for
There's not a
Mr.
big room in there.
No, are you going for Mr. Punchy or are you going for Data Slate on the floor guy?
Oh, Mr. Punchy.
Yeah, I'll let you engage in the same manoeuvre of getting out of the pipe. I'll be generous. So then it's just a flat out melee attack, which is 2 purple die
2 purple.
Remember a blue one.
and a blue one from Jailibreak. Yes.
Okay, I have 2 success and a dark side point.
Would you like to use that dark side point?
No, I'm just going to punch him.
Okay, so that's 2 successes. What's the damage of your shot gauntlets?
Damage is 3.
So that's 5 damage. Okay, you slam a fist into his face. He rocks back a little bit, kind of shakes his head as the electricity discharges into him. Then he rolls his shoulders.
All right then.
And he attempts to reciprocate. Can you please move me a dark side point over, Mikey?
For those tallying it at home, we're currently on dark side 4 points, then light side 4 points.
So that is 5 damage back to you, minus your soak. and the next person to act is going to be in a black die as you kind of rock back. This guy hits hard. I mean, you've kind of shaken it off as well, but he's probably at least as strong as you are, and again, clearly knows what he's doing. He's not quite as accomplished a fist fighter as you. He's probably much more used to hitting people who can't fight back, but he does know how to throw and take a punch. So the chap on the floor rolls over, grabs the data slate, and hits a button on there. An alarm starts ringing.
Can I hear that?
Yes, you can.
Can you disable that? Probably not.
If you want to make a slicing test, and I'll let you, if you want to come in at the end of the initiative, then Lassa, then I will peg you in at the end of the initiative, and if you want to start making a slicing test to try and deactivate that.
So that's computers?
It is computers. It's a standard difficulty. It is 2 purple. But since you're the next player to go, you take the black die from the threat, which can be essentially that it caught you on the hop. You didn't expect it to be triggering quite so quickly.
You see me drop my mug of tea. So then I was saying to him, oh my word, an alarm. That was a triumph, as well as a failure and a threat.
So you failed with 1 threat and a triumph.
I failed with 1 threat and a triumph.
So you've not succeeded in shutting off the alarm. That's taken as read. But you still have this triumph. What do you want that triumph to be?
I have a suggestion. Make the alarm going off in a different sector, so everyone rushes to a different part of the sector, like, say, outside.
Like the prison bit downstairs.
Yeah.
I can't shut it off, but I could reroute it somehow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, what's the furthest point away from the prison section that isn't near our possible escape route?
In the Imperial base, it would probably be the security room itself, because that is the very bottom-most kind of corner away from where you are. Alternatively, you could route it to, say, the landing pad and garage, which would inconvenience you when you're making your escape, but not yet. If you know what I mean. They might have then moved out of there by the time you get there, because at the moment you're not at that point in your plan yet.
I think if I try and send them there instead of the security room, that means they won't have eyes on the security, which might show them us, so it might be a better idea, and hopefully we can leave them a bit of a Benny Hill, so as we go up there they come down, so we miss each other. Maybe let's try that.
I believe the Americans call it a rope-a-dope.
A rope-a-dope.
Yep, okay. Yep, so you redirect the alarm to show that it's going off from in the landing pad. Back up to the top, PC1.
Who wants to go first?
Captain Punchy?
I'm going to punch him again. I'm kind of curious as to what this alarm's going to do to the people immediately outside the door, because they're not going to go running somewhere.
Well, you'll have to find that out.
That's a fair point. I'm going to just punch this guy, because I'm going to worry about that kind of particular consequence later on. How difficult would you like it to
It's
be?
2 purple for Malay. Oh, your threat, Mim. Just so we know what that is, the threat is, as Ross has alluded, the 2 guards directly outside the room aren't fooled. Mostly because they can hear the zap from inside. So everyone else is, but you are about to get some more company. So Ross, 2 purple.
Okay, that's not gone well. I have 4 advantage, 3 failure, but 2 light side points. I can cancel out a lot of the failure, but not all of it.
Yeah, and if you can't cancel out all of it, there's no point cancelling out any of it, really.
Okay. So 6 advantage and 3 failure then.
Okay, so that's an awful lot of advantage. So what would you like that advantage to be? What kind of thing would you like to set up?
Can they not get through the blast doors yet?
Well, I'm thinking they're going to concentrate on, if they can hear something coming from inside it, the last thing they want to do is open the door and give us an easy exit if we're making that much noise. They're going to try and keep it shut, rather than reinforce their mates.
Let our friends die, it's fine.
Cinematically, this is like the bit in Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark where they should be punching each other. You know, the bit with the aeroplane, and they're both kind of juking up and showing off their muscles, but they're not actually hitting each other. They're just like showing off. Because you're not actually landing a blow, are you? You're just like going grr at him.
Yeah, so I'm just circling this guy around this very small room where there's not very many, where there's quite a few other people in the room.
And no convenient death.
But I'm trying to angle him back towards you two where you get a clean shot at him.
Well, okay. How about these suggestions then to spend some of these advantage?
Yep.
2 advantage, I think, is equivalent for the 2 guards outside to not come in the room, but to take up position outside to stop you running out, because, as has been said, they open the door and you've overpowered their mates. Why give you a free exit?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you happy with that one?
Yeah, obviously they don't know exactly how many of us are inside or how the hell we got in there, but at the minute they're keeping that part secure.
Yeah, they're keeping that part locked down. How about for another advantage, you have manoeuvred this fella around so that, in fact, for the remaining advantage, you've moved this fella around so that his mate on the floor is going to take a black die to anything they do because he's nearly stood on them. And because he's nearly stood on his friend, it's put him off balance enough that the next person from the players to go against him gets a blue die as well.
That sounds strong. I've got 3 failure, and how will we...
That just means that basically you've been...
completely failed to hit him.
Yeah, essentially you've been trading blows with him. You've not managed to connect with any of those punches. He's just a bit too fast and out of the way. He's possibly knocked Pyjak in front of you, so you've had to check one of your blows. But you have manoeuvred him in turn. Kind of as he's stepping out of the way of your blows, he's not really paying attention to what else is going on, stumbles over his friend, and the two of them get a little bit tangled up.
Okay.
Next player.
Okay. Seeing as there's been a bit of a collision with the two guards, I'm going to turn to Pyjak and try and start loosening his restraints.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to make you need to roll for that one. Mm-hmm. It will take your action.
Okay, that's
but
fine.
At the end of your action, and your manoeuvre, it's your turn. Yeah. But at the end of your turn, you have got him down. He is battered, he's barely conscious, and he basically slumps over your shoulder. He does let out a smile when he sees you and kind of gives you a very weak but reassuring pat on your back. What you notice, kind of now that you're this close to him and you're so focused on him, is you've never seen him topless before. Why would you? You're on an ice planet.
Yeah.
He is absolutely covered in scars, many of which look like blaster shots.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a really odd wound on his right-hand side.
Yes.
That looks like almost like a red-hot poker has gone in through the front and the back.
My word.
And sealed itself. He's also got what looks a little bit like military tattoos of some form. And on the back of his neck is a barcode and CT16334 at the bottom of the barcode.
Right. And just while I've got this few seconds, I say, Pyjak, despite appearances, you are safe now.
he chuckles slightly ruefully. Next PC.
So, as the big guy has been manoeuvred round, I will stand up. I've got my blaster in my hand, and I'm going to cold cock him in the back of the neck. I'm just going to shoot him in the back
of the neck. Okay, that's fine.
I've got advantage, so do I get a blue?
You do get a blue dice for that. Because you're firing into melee, which is essentially what it is, it's a purple and a red, just because it's not like he's standing straight with his back to you. Him and Agatha are locked in a pretty brutal fight, and trying to get a good shot that's not going to take out Agatha it does make it a little bit more difficult.
That's why I'm trying to press the muzzle to the...
Ed, is Oberon using the stun setting?
That's a very good question.
Because you haven't mentioned it.
Is he using a stun setting to hit him on the back of the neck with a blaster?
He's shooting him.
Oh, sorry, I'm shooting him. I have been using... How does the stun setting work again?
It just means that the damage he takes is stun, not outright wounds.
I did say at the start of the plan that I was using the stun setting.
It goes off his strain rather than his wounds. So
I have in fact been using the stun setting because my intention is not to
That's what I
murder these loyal Imperial citizens.
And certainly Agatha's punches, they do strain rather than lethal damage by default. So
2 successes, 4 advantage.
2 successes will put that up to 7 damage, but that is enough advantage to crit. So if you want to crit, given his health, given that he's not a minion, I'll say that's enough to knock him out. I say if you want to spend your advantages on...
Yeah, also I've shot him in the brain, so...
So yes, he goes to swing a punch at Agatha. Just before it connects, you step up from behind him, you zap him in the back of the head, and his mighty swinging right hook suddenly turns into him falling on you and almost hugging you and then sliding down your body, Agatha.
I look smug at you. More smug.
Agatha feels slightly uncomfortable.
The chap on the floor staggers up to his feet, realises that he's outnumbered, realises that his mates aren't coming through the door yet, and disengages and goes to try and hit the door open release. Next player, which is Larsa. Now, you're still in the computer's network. I don't know whether or not you want to maybe continue slicing to cycle the locks on the door so that he can't open it from the inside, for example.
Well, you don't know necessarily who's
I
punching
don't
it.
know
No.
whether they
I'm
want
slightly-
to get in or out. If anything, I was thinking, it probably seems reasonable to open the door.
Okay, well,
To let
I'm
them
slightly
get
surprised that
out.
the inside of a prison cell has a door release.
yeah, because there are cells in the room. It's not one big prison cell. Sorry, I didn't describe it particularly well because it all happened so quickly. But there are 4 actual barred cells in here, which is where prisoners normally go. And then, yeah, the door in and out is just a normal.
We're in the central bit.
Yeah, you're in the central
Okay.
courtyard essentially of the prison cell. Sorry, I didn't describe that very well because of you've not really had time to take stock of what this room actually looks like because it's all kicked off so quickly. But you have been in here before. That's my bad. Or you could continue trying to redirect the alarm. You could try and shut it off again. You're still in the system, so I don't know how you wanna do it.
Well, if the door's shut, then the obvious exit is you're looking to yourself rather than to us, I suppose, because the
I don't think I'm going to try and help with the door because you can either let him open the door or open the door yourself or let the guards open the door. Once you've killed everyone, they're going to have to either go, we should check on the prisoner or not. But what I'm going to try and do is shut down the alarm overall again. And if I do particularly well, maybe try and convince people it was a perfectly normal drill.
Okay, so same as before. It's 2 purple.
I'm quite good at computers, so hopefully we'll be alright. I wish we were alright. Overall,
Is that another despair?
no despair.
Well, I suppose it can't be. There's no
It
red in
couldn't
there.
have been.
I'm feeling generous.
But it does mean that all I've got is an advantage because everything else... Oh wait, no. That's a threat. That counts as out advantage. All I've got is 1 success.
Well, that's enough.
That's enough though.
That's enough.
Cool.
So, yeah, the alarm is turned off.
Alright.
Back round to the top. PC1.
right. So at this point,
At this point, the fist fighter is unconscious at your feet, Agatha, having been shot in the back of the head by Oberon. The other guard in here is is about to hammer at the door release. He's left his data slate on the floor and he started shouting for assistance.
I think, can I go first? I'll try and stop him.
you can, and I also have a chat with that. But my other thought was, at this point, the threat we've got now is the 2 guards outside do know something's happening, and there's a bunch of activated stormtroopers not too far away.
Yeah?
No, you take it.
Okay. I look towards the guy just about to hammer on the door, and I just let out my connection between him, and I just go, stop.
A post discipline test.
Yep.
It's a red and a purple for host discipline.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to spend a light side point to upgrade your discipline test.
Yeah, I think I'm going to. So that is 2 successes, an advantage, and a dark side point. Now, to get him to do stuff, I do need to spend that. So I am actually going to stop him in his tracks. Just push out my... It's fear. I'm scared. This is a scary situation. And I am taking control of that scary situation by pushing my fear into him.
Okay.
I'm freezing him to the spot like a rabbit in the headlights.
Okay, so, yeah, shove me another light side into dark. I need to start using these clearly. I'm being too generous with you. And he freezes, his hand about 5 or 6 inches away from the door release button, and he's shivering, he's shaking. He breaks out in a sweat, he starts to cry a little, and he's locked in place.
I just keep staring at him, eyes focused, and I say, get him.
I'm going to get him. This time I'm going to force leap across the room.
Okay.
Yep.
It's only 2 foot, but bless him, he wants to do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bangs his head on the
I'm
ceiling.
going to get there quite quickly. If this goes wrong, though, of course, I'm about to slam his hand into the pad, which is going to do the exact thing I didn't want him to do in the first place. But so all I need to do is make a force power check.
So that's just you roll the force die.
1 light point.
So that means, yeah, you leap,
A short distance. Fortunately, I think this was a short range.
yeah, crash into the back of him
That's
as
my
you
move.
engage.
That's my manoeuvre. Then I get to hit him.
You do. It's 2 purple, but I'm going to give you 2 blue die. 1 for your momentum for going in, and the second because he's locked in place by Jaren's command.
I have 4 successes, 3 advantage, and a dark side point.
Are you going to use the dark side point?
Just 4 successes, 4 advantage, 3 successes, I said. Which is not enough to make the critical on mine.
But it is enough to trigger stun, which will do another 3 points of strain directly to him unsoakable.
That's if I use the dark side point.
No, that's if you just use your advantage.
Oh,
It's 2 advantage to trigger that.
Let's do that with them.
Okay.
Let's take this guy completely down.
Yep, so that's 3 from that. That is enough to take him down between the impacts of your blow and the discharge. What does that look like then? Paint me a picture from your force leap to completion.
So this guy's gotten up off the floor, trying desperately to get out of the room, runs towards the door, frozen in place, and then this giant brick of a man has jumped straight out to him and smacked him in the back of the head.
He goes down like a sack of pudding. There is the... Yeah, pudding goes down hard in a sack if you think about it. There is the
I haven't tried.
There's a crackle of discharge as you pump volts into him. He slumps forward, just crashes off the door and slumps down to the ground. Next PC.
What are they wearing again?
They are wearing like a grey Imperial prison guard's suit. It's grey, it's got blue, light blue piping. There's a webbing belt from which hangs a blaster pistol and, the one that you shot in the back of the head has a pair of shot gauntlets on. The other one does not, but it does have a fine pair of kid leather gloves. Well, might not be kid. Who knows? They might not be spaced here, but it's a soft, suedey leather glove.
But they're not inconvenient full face covering masks, is what I'm saying.
No, of course they're not.
Not dressed as stormtroopers.
No, because they're not stormtroopers.
I think to some extent they know something's afoot in here.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing, because there's we can wait for them to come in, we can do the whole thing. I'll loot the bodies. So, what I'll do is I'll start tying up the two guards.
Yeah, there are binders in here because it's a prison transport, so...
I start binding them.
Okay.
I bind them and I relieve them of their weapons.
Okay, that'll be your action and your manoeuvre, essentially. I'll let you go with that one then. You can hear from the outside there is conversation. You can't work out what they're saying, it's muffled, but there is clearly conversation, and at present it sounds like there's more than 2 voices out there at the moment. Larsa.
How long have we got on that 25-minute maintenance cycle?
You have as long as you want to be. Essentially, you've managed to override it with that triumph. It is as long as you want it to be.
All right.
They've been gone about 10 minutes worth of manoeuvring through the pipes, but you have as long as you need to be. It's
right.
You don't have to do anything particularly you want to. It's just that giving you the options.
Oh no, I just want to check because if we had say, you managed to extend it so you still got 20 minutes, and I'd be trying to signal to them that I want them to come back through. Can I access any of the current communications or hear what is being said?
Yes, that's another computer's test. I think for all this slicing work, it is 2 purple.
Look at me, Prinkle, I'm really taxing myself today. 2 threat, 2 success, and a triumph success.
You're doing very well with your triumphs today. Clearly the
I got magic fingers, look at me go.
Okay, so you can get into their communications network without a problem. Unless you want to do something about this with your triumph, I was planning on having that threat be that they're aware that someone has hacked into their comms network. They get the... Larsa has joined the call.
No, I'm going to use, if I can use this, that superior that I don't like too much, the one who always passes stuff off, I'm going to leave his signature instead.
Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely. So,
That's for trying to cut down on my tea breaks, which are a perfectly acceptable use of my time, considering I do 3 times as much work as you.
Connor Baxterwich has joined the conversation. What's going on here? Why have you joined the conversation? What's going on? Is there a prison break? You can hear the various voices coming through the communications. There's something going on at the brig. Get some more guards up there. Rouse the stormtroopers. Rouse the stormtroopers.
We're outside the prison cell. There's definitely something going on in here. We're awaiting reinforcement before we go in.
If I were to bang on the tubes, would you hear me? The reverberation might work.
The vibration, because the noise isn't, because we've already covered that.
Can I patch through to inside the room then? That's probably going to take me a bit longer.
I think we're about to leave the way we came anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might just be hoping we're quick about what we're doing.
If you want, as part of that triumph, I'm quite happy that this audio feed is also being piped out of the comm link of one of the 2 unconscious guards, so that the rest of the party can hear this.
I would very much like that. Thank you very much, yes.
Okay, so yes, you've heard that.
I pick up the comm link, turn it off, put it in my pocket.
Yep.
It is time to go.
What am I able to loot, or have I just bound these 2 guards?
You've just had time to bind them and nothing else at the moment. We're still in initiative round, and a round is
Seconds.
Yeah, it's not quite 3 seconds D&D style, but it's not a long period of time. So yeah, it's enough to bind them, but not enough to then, start harvesting guns from them, that sort of thing. Though. Back round to the top then.
I will jump up into the pipe and say, Agatha, pass me Pyjak.
I was going to say, I'm going to pick up Pyjak before you drop him and jump him into the pipe.
I'm not carrying him, I'm asking you to pass me him.
I thought you were carrying him a moment ago when you unchained him.
Yes, but I've let go of Pyjak, I'm climbing into the pipe, and I'm asking you to pass me him.
I will do that.
Yeah. Can I have an athletics test from you then, please, Jaren? It's 2 purple.
Okey-dokey.
I will give you a blue die, however,
Yes.
because even though Agatha has taken Pyjak off you, I'm fairly sure that you're able to use him at least to brace yourself and get up.
That is 1 success and 1 advantage.
Yep, you get up into the pipes and move a sufficient distance down. What would you like your advantage to be? Maybe a blue die for Agatha?
Yeah, I think so. That's a good idea.
And Agatha, then I presume you're going next to pass up Pyjak?
Yep.
That's athletics test again, but I'm spending a dark side point to upgrade that to 1 red, 1 purple.
Okay.
But you do also get a blue from Jaren's assistants, who I imagine has moved around and he's now hanging out with his arms out to help.
I'm going to go
ground.
backwards down the pipe.
Okay. I have 3 advantage and 2 light side points.
But no successes.
But no successes.
May I recommend spending those light side points on successes?
That sounds like a good idea. So 2 successes and 3 advantage.
Okay, yep, you get Pyjak up without any particular difficulty. You pass him to Jaren, who then scuttles back down.
I'm successfully following both of them.
Yes, if you want to spend those two of those advantages to essentially get a second free manoeuvre, which is enough to get you in the pipe after Pyjak.
I can do that. Leaves 1 advantage to possibly give to him to give him an assist in following us back up as well.
Is there enough room for me to get up this round?
Yes.
Or am I better off spending it barricading the door?
It's completely up to you. There is enough room for you to get up there, though it will be very, very cosy. These are moving reasonably quickly, but if you want to spend a turn barricading the room, it's not going to hurt you getting in the pipe.
I will barricade the room.
Okay.
And then make my way to the pipe.
How are you planning on barricading the room?
What's in the room?
There is a smallish desk, there's 2 unconscious guys, and there's 4 cells.
So the smallish desk, if it moves,
Yep, it does.
I will move it. I will then stack the unconscious guys on the desk and hope that their colleagues don't decide to weld torch their way out.
Okay, well, that's on their conscience, not yours.
And then make my way out the room.
Okay, well, it'll be the next turn round, really. For their part, you can hear that there's now 4 or 5 voices outside this room, and the door starts to rattle, but you've managed to get the barricade there just in time. But they're definitely trying to force their way in now.
Yeah, this is probably not the kind of room which they're going to make difficult to defend on the inside. They're going to want it to be able to, if there's a problem with the cells, they're going to be able to want to go in there and suppress everybody.
Yep.
So we're going to have seconds of advantage, but not that much.
Yeah. Yep. Which is why I recommend when it comes back round the top that you let Ed go first.
No, I'll let it go last.
Lassa, anything else particularly you want to do from your vantage point? Prinkle's keeping a watch down the hallway, essentially, as the alarm went off, and has been relaying back to you that he can see stormtroopers making their way to the lift.
Does she have enough information or vibration from the pipe or whatever to notice that we are coming back?
Probably too difficult to tell, really, over the sound of the machinery.
What I am going to do is I want to try and find a box or something that might be person-shaped, because I know we've walked in 1 and 4 have walked out, but I'm starting to worry we might get noticed. I think we might need a Pyjak-sized box, perhaps.
That's doable. I'm not even going to make you spend a light side point on feeling kind. Yes, you can find a box of enough size that he could fit in. Won't be comfy, but he can fit in there.
You're lovely, you are.
Back round to the top of initiatives.
I suppose Ed can go first.
I peg it to the exit by the ceiling.
Okay, can you make me an athletics test then, please? 2 purple.
Remember, you've got a blue.
2 successes and a threat.
All right. I know what this is going to be. Okay, so yeah, you get up there, you scrabble your way in, but one of your boots gets caught, gets tugged off by the edge of the grate, and drops down to the centre of the room.
Luckily, I've put my really nice kit in a bag somewhere, so that's fine.
Alright, I'm going to drop out of initiatives, because that was the important thing. The rest of you make your way down through the pipes. As you finally kind of scamper just over the bend that leads you out from being over the room, you hear the door get kicked open, and the boots of stormtroopers run in here, and over the comms, they start to go,
Prisoner's gone.
"Where's he gone? Looks like they're going through the grate."
Wait a minute. Someone's on this comm channel. Changing band. Protocol Alpha 442.
and then your connection, Larsa, cuts off.
That's fair enough.
As you make your way down through the pipes to rejoin Larsa and Prinkle in the engineering room, that's where I'm going to call it for this episode. Our heroes have successfully rescued their mentor. Phase 1 of their daring plan has been completed. Now all they need to do is get out of an Imperial base on high alert with squads of stormtroopers hunting for them without getting horribly shot and murdered. Will they make it? Find out next time on Force Majeure. Thanks for listening. Force Majeure is played using the Star Wars Force and Destiny game system by Fantasy Flight Games and Lucas Books. You can find us on Twitter at Force Majeure Pod, on Instagram at Force Majeure Pod, on email at forcemajeurepod@gmail.com, and our website at forcemajeurepod.com. If you're enjoying the show, please let us know, talk to us on social media or drop us a review. We'd be very grateful. It lets us know that we're telling the kind of stories that you want to hear. Our intro music is Actionable by BenSound, and our outro music is Suburban Outlaw by Forget the Whale, both used with gratitude under the Creative Commons license. An amount of the sound effects and ambient sound in our show is provided by Sirenscape, because epic games deserve epic sounds. For episode-specific attribution for some of the music used, again under Creative Commons, please see the individual episode descriptions for details. Thank you very much, we hope you're enjoying the show, and we'll catch you next time.